Hello guys and welcome back to Minecraft with Qwayzaar. We are in our map room here and please excuse the slight drop in frame rate while we're in this area. It can be a little bit laggier. So I wanted to build a new transport system and I thought the best place to use as the hub for that transport system is our map room because it's, you know, kind of like the center of our world. And so then I was trying to work out like what the best way of integrating a transport system with this room was. Like we could have little tunnels that, I don't know, go to different portals or something, or different ice boat highways that go to different portals. I wasn't sure. And then I was sort of looking at the map itself and I was like, wow, wouldn't it just be like amazing if you could just like, I could just go to my ice farm and I could just jump and then I would just be there. Alright guys, we are back at our map room, so let's take a look at this. Here is our ice farm, which you might have noticed there was no ice farm, but there will be in the future. And here's where we are right now at our map room, at the center of our world. So the distance between the two of these is actually over 1,200 blocks, and we made the jump in about 3 seconds right now, I think. So let's take a look at how this works. So I should clarify that I haven't really invented anything new here at all. I'm basically using an Enderporter system. I took inspiration from the YouTuber Waves reusable wireless redstone video, in which Ver sends a signal through the Nether to basically allow an Enderporter system to reach a wider area or further away area. The only kind of changes that I made, I've kind of done he's like Wozniak and I'm Steve Jobs, or he's Tesla, I'm Edison. I'm just making it kind of I changed the way we interact with the system. So basically that's just the jump mechanic to trigger it, and then because I then had this jump mechanic, I found that it made sense if the system is as instant as possible, right? Because if you watch the Verwave video, basically Ver's system is kind of it's like a ticket system, so he'll put a ticket into a chest and then Ver can continue, you know, looking around his base and doing tasks while the system waits for the nether chunks to load, and I think the signal travels like quite a lot slower, and then when it's ready you suddenly teleport. With this jump system, I want to make it feel like I just jump and then I'm almost instantly where I jumped, to make it feel very kind of interactive and responsive. So we can take a look at this, and please, if anyone has any suggestions on how I can speed this up even further, I definitely want to hear it. So essentially the system is kicked off by this calibrated skulk sensor, which is cased with wool so that it only hears the jump on the block right above it, and it's calibrated to the player's jump, of course. Yeah, this is a problem. Can't have them spawning there. And so, yeah, that is our minecart's got a bit messed up. Yeah, still need to perfect all this. Okay, sorry, bear with me here. Okay, let's reset. So the calibrated skulk sensor sends a signal down, and it's waterlogged just to reduce the sound of the skulk sensor itself. And then that triggers this piston, which updates this wall, which basically sends an instant vertical redstone signal down to the observer, and that powers the wool beneath it there, which powers the rail the minecart's on. So let's have a look in the nether now. And here's what we basically have. So we have a regular item sorter. Have a look at here. Here's the one for our ice farm. and props to, I'll put a screenshot on screen. Someone that helped me on Reddit save maybe half a second off the time, the teleportation time too, by simply flipping the item sorter so that I take the signal off the opposite end of it instead of doing what I was doing, which was a great tip. And so basically here we have an item sorter. This just looks for stone. I guess I'll swap it to ice soon. And then this is just as an example for another teleportation spot, and we can run this as as far as we want with different items. It's searching for different items, and then it'll trigger that redstone line. And then what we have here is a instant horizontal redstone line. So it basically just uses piston slime and redstone blocks to send the signal instantly. And then what you might notice here, so this is a chunk loading system designed by VeraWave using the new Ender Pearl chunk loading mechanic. And the reason it's using this piston system obviously is because we're in the Nether and we can't use water to keep the Ender Pearl in stasis. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to swap away from the system. It's been great. I won't stand right next to the loud piston. It's been great just for me to, cheaply and quickly build this line, make sure it's working, and see the system working. But basically every time I log back into my world, some of these ender pearls trigger and they have to be replaced. So it's not ideal for a system we're going to stick with, but it works well enough for testing. So basically I'll be swapping back to a nether chunk loading system. The downside is, the upside with this system was that it's only loading the nether chunks. It's not loading the overworld like a traditional chunk loader does. So I like that. I felt like I was comfortable enough just leaving them permanently loaded. But I'm going to have to swap back to the traditional system, which means we're going to have to come up with some way of only loading the nether portal chunk loaders when we're inside our map room, and then letting them unload when we leave that area, just so that they're not permanently loading so many chunks in our world. Okay, and then we can take a look at the end of our line here. Let's just go before these guys come. So basically we trigger this minecart, and this heads into, now we're at our ice farm now. Can try to grab, is it this map? Let's see. No. Nope, don't look at that one, that's a secret. Okay, yeah, this one. So basically I decided, and now I haven't fully committed to this yet, but essentially at one stage I added this, well, let me explain it this way. This is the original nether portal, and at first I just had the signal come right out of this and trigger the Enderporter. And then I decided that maybe I still want to have like a nice looking, uncluttered nether portal that leads, to my ice highway and to my nether tunnel, so that I can use that system when I want without like having to step around all this new redstone system. So I decided to build a second nether portal beneath it, all the way down there, and then send the signal up using this instant vertical wire. And I think doing all this maybe added like half a second to the delay, so I would consider swapping back, and we might try that out and see how long the teleportation takes if we don't do all that. Yeah, but that's essentially how it all works. Okay guys, so I just covered up our bit of redstone here because the villagers are back on the loose. And one cool thing about the jump system is that it doesn't actually make a difference how far away the jump location is from our world map here. you know, even if it's twice as far away, because the redstone in the Nether is instant, as long as the chunks are loaded, it will still jump to the location in the exact same 3 seconds. So even if I went all the way over here to this super secret project that I will reveal in a future episode, which is more than 2,000 blocks away, we'll still get there in the same jump time. I guess at the same time, that means even if we go to somewhere very nearby, it's still going to take the 3 seconds, but still, it's a cool, I think it's a cool aspect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a new farm, and we're going to build it right here, and that's going to be a slime farm, because I'm all out of slime blocks and I need a lot of them for this project. So we're going to build another cool pixel art icon. We'll add it to our map, and then we'll integrate it into our jump system. Okay guys, we have just finished the pixel art for our slime farm. Here's what it looks like. It's not the best pixel art I've done, but it'll do for now. I won't bother showing the slime farm. It's basically just the most regular YouTube tutorial slime farm. So it's something that I hope I can come back to and improve in the future. But for today's episode, we're running out of time, so I just did something super simple. We can just come down to our map here, and let's see what this looks like. Oops, whoops, not that. There we go. So I think that looks okay. My plan is to, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with the slime farm, to be honest, below, but at least for the map I'll probably cover it and make it sort of blend into the landscape so that we just see the icon. But I think that looks pretty nice. It sort of fits with the style of our ice farm, the size and the white outline. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now we have a bunch of slime blocks, so let's continue. I'm an idiot, because you can send the minecart in fine, but there's obviously just one portal in the Nether, so every time the minecarts are going to return on this portal, you know, they can only return in one portal, so that system is not going to work. Okay, I think we have a solution, and it's actually very simple. My first thought was to just run the minecart lines in the Nether a further distance, and then they would go through a second portal, which would be somewhere over here in the overworld, and then the minecarts would come out and they would go through a sorting system, and they would return to their original spots. And the nice thing about this was that we wouldn't need to ever replace the minecarts. There'd be very little like upkeep with the system. It would kind of just run itself, but it is a bit of extra work. So instead I'm going to go with this very simple system that has very little upkeep, but I think it's just a lot simpler, especially for now. Maybe in the future we will implement the minecart returning system, but so here it is. It's super simple. Basically, instead of each portal just having its own minecart, we break this. Oh, whoops. And then we have a dispenser here with some minecarts in it. We can even, not sure about the settings on that, but we can put a hopper on one of these sides. I don't believe that we need both of these repeaters, and we could have an extra chest of minecarts with chests going into this, so we don't have to replace it as often. I mean, we could even have multiple chests, so we barely have to replace them. Actually, we could even set up a system where they're all loaded from like a singular chest up here, and I just have to keep one chest loaded. But anyway, basically, when we trigger the skulk sensor, the calibrated skulk sensor, this updates the dispenser, fires the minecart, which is then automatically loaded with ice, which isn't there right now. But that is okay. And then it goes into our nether line, and we can check this out here. So I've just extended a little bit so you can see there we have our slime farm and our ice. Let me just grab some ice here. So, oh, there is no ice. Okay, anyway. And then the minecart comes along here, and then it goes into this automatic minecart breaker, So it's just, it lands on the slab with the stairs. There's lava in the cauldron here, and it's collected down here. Okay guys, and there's one other thing we need to do, because you might have noticed earlier on in the video, or in your own world, that pigmen often spawn through these portals, and that can break our minecarts, you know, if they block the minecarts, and it can also break our chunk loaders in the nether as well. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put a turtle egg there, because they're attracted to turtle eggs. Don't crush it, I don't have many of them. And then we just put a trapdoor here and a trapdoor here, which means they'll try to walk across and they'll fall down. Thank you to commenter AZAnything, who recommended that I make the globe at the entrance of the map room larger. I think that looks much better, so thank you for that. I also swapped the color of the ocean in the globe. And then let's just check something out now, because I want to show, if I jump on our ice farm right now, nothing happens, and let's go look at why. So as you can see in the nether, these temporary chunk loaders really don't last very long. The ender pearl in this one's already gone. That one still has its ender pearl. There's no ender pearl in this one, no ender pearl in this one, no ender pearl in this one. So they really are just very temporary. So I'm going to fix this whole line with our new chunk loaders. Okay, so now that we've replaced all of our chunk loaders, let's see if this works. And it does, very good, okay. But the problem is, now we need to get back to the map room. So we're gonna have to run a new redstone line back. Okay, and then we just run our redstone line back beneath our current one. Piston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Redstone, piston, 1, 2, 3. And then the corner here, so just 2. Make sure the redstone is in the corner, because these are already extended. And then that redstone will power this piston. And again, 11, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay guys, moment of truth. Is it all going to work? Let's try. We're at the ice farm. Okay, very nice. And now I don't actually have the return button up here. I put it down here for the moment. Return. Whoa! Okay. That felt nice. Okay. And we're back. So obviously we have a little bit of work to do on the return Enderporter. I think I've got a nice idea for that. That's gonna feel very good. So that's how we're gonna finish off the episode. But I find this crazy. I mean, let's fly right now to the ice farm. So you can start canning now, but it's a long distance. So yeah, I'm going to be getting very used to this. Oh, am I going the right way? I think I'm going the right way. Yeah, it's over this hill here. Yeah. Okay, and here is the portal. So I mean, it is a long distance. So we're gonna remove our Enderporter here, because we're going to be building something else for the center of our map room, and that goes a little like this. So basically our signal is going to come up here and then into this block, and then you might be wondering, how are we going to get the trapdoor, the signal to get to the trapdoor, which we're going to place on this block. And for that we have this little trick we can do, where we can actually put the redstone beneath the map place in the corner, and then we'll take back that map, if I can find the right one. Nope, this one. And we can put that down on the map here in the corner. So now we have redstone beneath the map, and luckily for us, because by default we want the redstone to not be powered, we won't even see the little redstone animation coming through the map. So first we just need to get the timing right on the player launcher and the opening of the trapdoor, and that will be its own system, and then we'll move on to the rest. Okay, check this out. Pretty nice. I'm just doing some cleaning up here, trying to keep it organized as I build, so I just condensed it slightly and swapped to the white concrete so that it stands out against all the other redstone that will eventually be in this room. We've got the white glazed terracotta here because we don't want this block to move when this piston pushes, and the reason we have a block here is because right here we're going to build our Enderporter. Okay guys, let's test this out. I'm hoping it'll work, but we don't know yet. And we have our ender pearl in there, and as you can see, it actually just rises not all the way to the top, and this is because we've waterlogged the top block here on top of the trapdoor. So this actually means the items don't treat this one as a bubble column, but the player still does. So it just makes it more consistent when we teleport in, that the player won't spawn like partially under the trapdoor, which means then this piston column here wouldn't be able to push us across to the player launcher. So can have a quick look here at the redstone, which I mean I should probably test first. Let's test it first, see if it works. So I'm gonna press this button. It should trigger the Enderporter. Trapdoor should go down, we'll spawn over there. These two pistons should push us right across to here, and then the player launcher should push us through the trapdoor, which is closed right now but should open just in time for us. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Timing seemed to be quite off. Okay, let's try that again. Woohoo! That felt nice. That felt really nice. Let's do that again. So I think it's all... Where's this guy? Do not knock me down. Okay, so I think it's all working now. Let's throw our ender pearl in. And here we go. Whoa! Okay, that feels really nice. Wow, okay. So we can basically clean this up on the surface. Bam, bam. Nice. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, ender pearl in. Whoa. Okay, we don't need any of this anymore. No villagers are gonna fall down. The system is fully working. Just need to clean it up a little bit and make it link it into the signal that comes through the Nether portal instead of the button. Okay guys, so we are out of time for today, but we have pretty much got this done. Let's take a look. We have our new globe on the outside. I think it's looking good, and now we should be able to teleport all the way to our ice farm, come back to the map room here, and then over to our slime farm and back again. So here's the ice farm, and let's just take a look at that distance again. That is over 1,200 blocks away, all the way through here. It's about 15-minute walk, maybe like 2-minute flight. Bam, and we are at our ice farm, which again doesn't exist yet, but I think that's like 3.5 seconds. So let's just set that Enderporter up again. I need to polish all this. I think I will probably add the same jump system to each location as well. So let's take a look, one last look at the redstone. You can ignore the chunk loaders on the left, they're actually not used for anything anymore. We have our sending the signal at the top to go to the ice farm, and on the bottom, oops, the signal back. There's all our new chunk loaders on the right that are in use. There's the signal that goes to the slime farm, forward and back. And then we have our, beneath there we have the signal that comes back in the portal below, and then in this portal our signal comes out and sends it to whichever location we want to jump to. And there is our ice farms portal. I changed it up a bit, as you can see. I changed the vertical signal because the observer was triggering multiple times, which meant that multiple minecarts were actually getting dispensed, and it was just causing a lot of problems. So I changed it so that it's again slightly less fast, I think. But yeah. And jump. Bam. And we're at our slime farm. I mean, it feels so nice, it's so quick. I'm really happy with how this has turned out so far. I think in a future episode we can polish it up a little bit, like we'll finish off these ice farm and the slime farm and have us jump back out. But look at that, I mean, it feels so nice, just like appearing at the top of the map through the trapdoor and then closes behind us. It feels really nice. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today's episode, guys. I think this was a big one, so thanks everyone for making it through, and I think I'm really happy with this. I'm going to expand it in the future, but thanks for watching, guys.